Hello guys, welcome to another video in the series of coding. Today we are going to see the problem which is called best time to buy and sell stock at most b times. So you're given an array of integers a of size n in which ith element is the price of the stock on day I. So you can complete at most b transactions and you have to find the maximum profit that you can achieve. Let's try to take an example. So in this example, this is the array that we have which represent the stock prices. So you have 3, 2, 7, 5, 10, 3 and so on. And now in this table, we are going to fill the maximum profit that we can achieve. For example, if we are given 0 transactions, this value will give us, the last value will give us the maximum profit we can achieve when we are allowed to do 0 transactions. Okay, and then this table will represent when we are allowed to do 1 transaction, what will be the maximum profit. And the last table will give us our answer. In the case when k is equal to 2, when we are allowed to do at most 2 transactions, this last row will represent that and the last value of this will give us the answer. Okay. Now let's try to understand how to solve this problem. So for building the table for k equal to 0, it's very easy. Suppose you are given 0 transactions, right? No transaction is allowed. In that case, what will be your profit? Your profit will be 0 because neither you can buy, neither you can sell. No transaction is allowed because k is equal to 0. Okay. So this was about the first row. So first row, everything is going to be 0. Okay. Now let's see the first column. In the first column, what does this value represent? On the first day, you can only buy, you can never sell. So in the first day, if you can only buy and you can never sell, can you make any profit? We cannot make any profit because on the first day we can never sell, we can only buy. So if you can only buy, you can never make a profit, right? So on first day also the column will be 0 because this represents profit. Okay, this each value in each cell represents profit, so that's why in the first column also it's 0. Okay. Now let us start filling this. For k equal to 1, the problem is fairly simple, right? So there's a problem for k equal to 1, in which case you are allowed to do at most one transaction and you have to find the answer, right? So if you are allowed to do at most one transaction, how do you find the answer? Finding that answer is very simple, right? So you will take the lowest value and you will take the highest value such that, see for example, if you buy at 2 and if you sell at 10, this will give you the highest profit. With only one transaction allowed, this will be the best case, right? This will be the best case because in this case, the profit that you will be able to earn will be um, 2 and 8. So you are buying at 2 and you are selling at 10. So the profit that you will be able to earn will be at the price at which you sell minus the price at which you buy. So that will be 10 minus 2, which will be 8. So in this case, the best case should be 8. Let's see how we are going to fill this table. So in this case, okay, let's simply fill the table and then try to build the logic for next value. So for k equal to 1 and this day 2, right? So what you will do, now you have 2 days, right? So you are filling the value at this particular cell. You have 2 days, so you can sell at this day. If you decide to sell on this day, what will happen? You should have bought at a previous day, right? If you are selling at this day, you are going to get a profit of 2. You are going to get 2 rupees, but you would have bought at some other price. So you would have bought at the price 3. You are selling at 2, you would have bought at 3. In this case, what will be the profit? It will be minus 1, right? It will be minus 1. So why do you want to sell when it is 2 and buy when it is 3? This is not profitable, right? So rather what you will do, since this is not profitable, you will see the previous value. Previous value is better, so it's better to have 0 than to have losses. Okay, let's go to the next value. So next value will be when you have all the 3 numbers. Now in this case, what will be the best profit? So for 7, okay, for 7 we are going to fill the best value. How are we going to find out? So you are going to sell, suppose at day 7. At which day should you have bought? You have two options of buying, right? Either at 3 or at 2, right? So if you buy at 3, what will be the buying price? It will be minus 3. If you buy at 2, you will have to spend 2 rupees. So it will be 2. So it's better to buy at 2 than to buy at 3, right? Because 2 is smaller than 3. So you will buy at the day when it is 2. 7 minus 2 is equal to 5. So you will make a profit of 5. Okay. So when you have 3 days, the best that you can do is buy at 2, sell at 7. So the profit will be 5. Let's go to the next case. Next case is equal to this value. So now you have 4 numbers, right? So in this case, what is the best? You can only make one transaction, right? So you have already made one transaction. Okay. So let's see if this transaction is better or any transaction now will be better. So see, for when you are selling at this particular day, you will sell for a price of 5. What are the possible prices for buy? possible prices for buy will be anything previously, right? All these three possibilities are there. So if you are selling at 5, you would have bought at either 3, 2 or 7. What is the best case? Best case possible is 2. Okay, so you buy at 2. So what will be your selling price is 5, best possible, because you want the least amount to get the maximum profit. So you would have bought at 2. 5 minus 2 is equal to 3. This is the best case that you can do, right? This is the best profit that you can earn if you are going to sell at this day. But see, this is 5. The best case profit that you are getting is 3. So it's better to rather not sell on this day, because the previous transaction was much more better. So we will store the previous value only. Okay, so the previous value 5 will be stored. Let's go to the next case. Next case, you have k equal to 1, and this case when you are allowed all these numbers. So in this case now, for 10, you will try to see what is the best value. So you will iterate over all these 4 values. You will see which is the least, right? So which is the least? Minus 3, minus 2, minus 7, minus 5. Minus because we are going to buy at that day, right? So which is the best? So among these, this is best, right? Among this is best. So you would have bought at when the price was 2, and you will sell when the price is 10, right? So you will buy when the price is 2 and you will sell when the price is 10, because among all these numbers 2 is the least. So 10 minus 2 is 8. Okay, so here I will get 8. Now 8 is better than 5, so I will store 8 here. Okay, let's go to the last case. Now when you are selling at 3, you have all these possibilities for buying. So if any of the days you would have bought, right? What is the best day to buy? 2 is the best day to buy. So the best profit that you could have earned was 3 minus 2, 1. But this profit is not better than 8. Okay, so in the previous transaction you are earning a better profit, so you will store it. So this will be the answer. So for k equal to 1, it was fairly simple. Okay, now let's try doing the thing for k equal to 2. Now you are allowed 2 transactions. Okay, so let's try to fill this value. So in this case, if you are allowed 2 transactions, right? So what can you do? So see, you have only 2 days and you are allowed 2 transactions. Is it even possible? 2 transactions are not possible within 2 days, right? Because at max you can do 1 transaction. So it's not anyway possible. Okay, so in this case also, anyway the profit is going to be 0. Okay, let's go to the next possible case. So when we go to the next possible case, right? Now in this, you can do 2 transactions. Let's see what will be the best thing. So you have to fill the value here. Okay, now the problem becomes interesting. So what is your selling price? Selling price is going to remain as 7. Okay, but your buying price, you have 2 options for buying price, 3 or 2. You have 2 options for buying price, 3 or 2. Okay, and in both days you will earn a profit of 0. Previously there are no transaction history. So which is the best buying price? 2 is the best buying price, because 2 is smaller than 3. So 7 minus 2, 5. 5 is your answer. Okay, so in this case you will fill 5. Let us go to the next cell. Now in this case, what will be your answer? So in this case, what is your selling price? Selling price is equal to 5, right? And you have 3 options for buying price. So you can buy at 3, you can buy at 2, or you can buy at 7. Okay, so these are the possible. So when these are the possible answers, right? So you may think that we will choose the smallest buying price as we have been doing till now. So we will sell at 5 and we will buy at 2. But there is one thing that is important here. See, when you are going to buy at 3, you will also earn a profit of 0, because it's your previous transaction history, right? When you are buying at 2, you will also earn a profit of 0 for the previous transaction history. But if you are going to buy at 7, you will also earn a profit of 5. You will also earn a previous profit of 5. So this is very important to understand. See, you are going to sell for a price of 5. This is confirmed. Okay, because you are filling the value for this particular column. Okay, so you are going to sell at a value of 5. At which price should you buy now? If you buy at 3, okay, you will have to spend 3 rupees, but you will also get the previous transaction profit, which was 0 in this case. If you buy at price 2, you will have to buy at 2 and you will earn a profit of 0. But if you buy at 7, right? So in this case, you will have to spend 7 rupees, but you will also earn a profit of 5 for the previous transaction history, because you are allowed 2 transactions. So in this case, when previously you had made a transaction 2-7, right? You had made a transaction, for that you had earned a profit of 5. Now when you make a new transaction, okay, 7-5, in that case you will earn this profit, sell minus buy, but you will also accumulate the previous profit, which was 5. Okay, so in this case you cannot simply see which is the smallest buy. This thing will not work. You will have to see which is the smallest buy plus the profit. So what is the equation? See, what do we have to check? We have to check, okay, we have to check which is least, including both these values. So if you buy, it will cost you 3 rupees, but you will earn a profit of 0, which is minus 3. If you buy in this case, you will have to spend 2 rupees, but you will earn a previous profit of 0, so it will be minus 2. Now if you buy in this case, you will have to pay 7 rupees, but you will earn a profit of 5, so which is minus 2. So in this case, which is the best? So any of the minus 2 is the best, right? So you can take any of these two. You can take any of these two, and minus 2 will be the best possible case that you can do. And you are selling for 5. So if you are selling for 5, you will get 5 and you will get minus 2. Okay, so 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 is the best case possible if you decide to sell on this day. Okay, but okay, so for this 3 is the best case possible, but the previous value is 5, so it is better to not do anything. It is better to not sell on this day. Okay, rather it is better to continue with the previous iteration. So in this case, the answer will be 5, because we are just filling the previous value. In this case, the best case possible was 3 for if we decide to definitely sell on this day, but rather than doing this, we will just fill the previous value, because we have the option of not doing anything also on that day. Okay, now let us go to the next cell. In the next cell, you have k equal to 2 and you have this value, right? So you have to find out which is the best possible case. So if you decide to sell on this day, you will definitely earn 10 rupees, because you are selling the stock for rupees 10. Now you have 4 possibilities, right? So you will have to check all the possibilities. So what is the first possibility? First possibility is you are buying for 3 and you earn a profit of 0. Okay, let me write P. Next possibility is you are buying for 2 and you earn a profit of 2. Okay. Next possibility is you buy at the price 7, but you will be able to accumulate the previous profit, which is 5, because you are allowed to make 2 transactions. So any transaction that you have done previously, that profit you can accumulate, right? So you will get this also. Okay. Last thing is, if you buy at price of 5, you will be able to accumulate the profit of 5. You will be able to accumulate profit of 5. So now let us see which is the best case. In this scenario, which is the best possible answer? Minus 3 plus 0 is minus 3. Minus 2 plus 0 is minus 2. Minus 7 plus 5 is minus 2. And minus 5 plus 5 is equal to 0. Okay. So among this, 0 is the best possible, right? So in this case, if you buy here and you sell here, you will be able to get a profit of what? You will be able to get this profit, right? So you will be able to get this profit. So let us see. So in this case, when you are selling for 10 and you are overall you are buying for 5, but you are also getting a profit of 5, right? So in this case, what will be the scenario? So scenario will be 10 minus 0, which will be 10. So totally you will be able to get 10. 10 is better, right? Because see, what actually you are doing in this transaction, you are buying at 5, you are selling at 10, but you also had a previous transaction which was for 2 7. So since you are allowed to make 2 transactions, the best possible scenario, you are able to earn a profit of 5 and 5 in both, which is accumulating to give you a profit of 10. That is why our answer was coming out to be 10. Okay, so in this case, now 10, you can compare 10 with the previous value, which is 5. 10 is better than 5, right? So you will store 10 in this row and this particular column. So we will store 10. Let me store 10 here. Now let us go to the last cell. So in the last cell, you have k equal to 2 and you have this particular value. So you decide to sell at 3. Okay. So if you decide to sell at 3, you have all these options. Now among all these options, what are the possibilities? So first is you decide to, first let me write the selling price. Selling price is 3. You decide to buy at 3 and you will make a profit of 0. Next option is you decide to buy at 2 and you will make a profit of 0. Next option is you decide to buy at 7 and you will make a profit of 5. You decide to buy at 5 and you will make a profit of 5. You decide to buy at 10 and you will make a profit of 8. Okay, buy at 10 and profit is equal to 8. So let's write down which is the best case possibility in this scenario. So in this case, you will have to spend 3. Minus 3 plus 0. Next case is minus 2 plus 0. Next case is minus 7 plus 5. It's equal to minus 2. Next case is minus 5 plus 5, which is equal to 0. Next case is minus 10 plus 8, which is equal to minus 2. So which is the best possibility? Best possibility is 0. Okay. So if you decide to sell on this day, it is best to buy on this particular day. Okay, so what is the selling price is 3. 3 minus 0 is equal to 3. So you will be able to get totally a profit of 3. Okay, but you have a previous transaction which is giving you 10, so 10 is better. So rather than storing 3 in that particular row and column, we will store 10, which is the previous value. So we'll not do anything on this day, we'll not do anything there, we'll rather go with the previous day. So 10 is the best possible answer in this case. And which are the two transactions that you are doing? You are doing these transactions 2 7 and 5 10. So you are buying on 2, selling on 5, buying on 5, selling on 10. Okay, what will be the time complexity of this? So let's discuss the time complexity. So k into n is what we are taking to fill the matrix, but each time when we are filling any value, we are also iterating over the previous row, right? We were iterating over these values and we are trying to calculate what is the best that we should do. So again you will get k into n into n. So it will be k into n square. That will be the time complexity. Now this can be reduced, but first let's write this solution. Let's write the kn square solution and then we'll reduce it to kn, which will be the best case time complexity. So let us see the kn solution. Okay, so um, so initially I have written these things. If n is less than equal to 1, you can simply return 0, and n is the size of the array that we have. And if k is greater than a of size, they have given some test cases when k is greater, you can just make k equal to a of size so that it passes all test cases. Okay, now let us fill this dp array. So this is the dp matrix that we have made. Now let us fill it. Okay, so initially I'm giving the values as 0, right? So initially all these values are 0. This row is 0, this column is 0. That is why I have filled the initial values as 0. Now let us start iterating over this. So for int j equal to 1, for int I equal to 1, I less than n, I plus plus. Okay, so it will be I less than k plus 1 because I is your row, right? So where is the row going to? Row is equal to k plus 1 because k is starting from 0. So in our case k is equal to 2. That means you have 3 rows, right? You have 1 2 3 rows. So that is why we should go from I equal to 0 to k plus 1. Now let us fill the column. So for int j equal to 1, j less than n, j plus plus. Okay. Let us fill the column value. Now for filling every cell, what were we doing? So for example, when you are filling this value, what were we doing? We were trying to see all these values, right? What we are trying to see. So we have to iterate, we have to make one iteration from here, right? We have to make, suppose, let me write the indices 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when we are at j equal to 4 and I is equal to 2, in that case what we are doing, we are running a for loop from 0 to 3 again, right? We are running this for loop and we are trying to see which case we are going to get best profit, right? So what is the profit that you will earn? You will definitely earn 10 rupees. 10 rupees is something which you will definitely earn because you are selling at 10. But when is the best case? When you want to buy. So for that, what you will do, you will look into this, right? So you will look into this array. So a of I, a of this variable, whatever variable we are declaring here, right? Let me write it properly. Suppose we are taking some variable. Let me take previous day something because it's in the previous row, right? Let's say we have declared a variable previous day and that is running from 0 to 3. So what is the thing that we are doing? We were seeing this value. This value is negative because you are buying on that day. So minus of previous of j. We were taking this value, right? Plus what we were taking? We were taking the profit that we will accumulate. So that we will have to look from the dp. So dp of I minus 1 into previous j, right? So this is what we were doing. This was the simple piece of code that we were writing. We were seeing for which particular value this is the maximum. So when we are comparing minus 3 plus 0, minus 2 plus 0, minus 7 plus 5, minus 5 plus 5. We are seeing all the 4 values. So that is why our loop is running from 0 to 3. Okay. So let us see that. So for int, let's say previous j is equal to 0, previous j is less than j, and previous j plus plus. Okay. So we have to see this value minus of a of previous j, okay, plus you are seeing dp of I minus 1 into previous j. So whenever you get this value as the maximum, so let me declare some variable, okay, and let me do one thing. Let me run this loop from 1, okay, and let me declare this variable as the first value. So let me take this value as the first value and I will just give it a of 0 here. So this is the value. Okay. Now whenever this variable becomes better than the already stored value, we will change the value of the variable. So basically variable is equal to max of variable comma this value. Okay, so we have at the 0th position we have taken the value of the variable, and whenever it changes, right, we will change it. Now after all this is done, right, after all this work is done, what are we going to do? After this work is done, you have to add the price 10, right? So whatever value comes maximum of this, so let me take one example. So when we are looking at this case, right, what will be the best case profit? So for this case you will have to add 10 with what, with whatever maximum value we just got now after running the for loop. So in this case the maximum or the best case possible value will be 5 minus 5, which will be 0. So you have to add 10 plus 0, and you would have got 10 as the answer, right? So you're getting 10 as the answer. So you have to add 10 also. So a of j is something that you have to add. Okay, so a of j plus variable, this will be what you have got currently, right? This will be the current value. You have to compare this to previously stored value. So you were comparing 10 with 5, because if you're not doing any transaction at all, that is also a feasible solution. For example, in this row 10 was better, right? 10, you are just storing this particular value, so you'll also have to compare with the previous value. So I j minus 1. Okay, so dp of ij will just be equal to max of these values. Okay. Okay, so there are two important things that we should do to make this code run. So one is that this is minus sign I have given here plus, so this should be minus. Okay, because the price at which we are buying should be minus, and then the profit that we earn before all the transactions on that day is this value. So this is fine. Now one last thing I should give here, minus 1, because the size is n, so the last value will be n minus 1. Okay, now our code should be fine and it should run. Let me just try to submit this code. Okay, let's test this first. So it's fine. Okay, let's submit and see. Now there'll be a problem because it may give time limit exceeded error. So yeah, time complexity failed. Okay, so why is the time complexity failing? So there's one important thing. First, let's calculate the time complexity. See, this loop is going to run for k times. Okay, and then this loop will run for n times, and then this loop will again run for n times, so it will be k into n square. So this is where we can optimize. Okay, let's see how to optimize this. For example, when we are calculating for every value, right, let's say we are calculating for this cell, what are we doing? We are seeing all these previous cells. When we are calculating for this cell, we are seeing all these previous cells. When we are calculating for this cell, we are seeing all these previous cells, right? When we are calculating for this cell, we are seeing all these previous cells. So every time we are calculating for a cell, we are seeing all these previous cells. Next time when we are calculating for this cell, we are again repeating all these cells as well as adding a new cell, right, to calculate the value of the variable var which we have taken. Okay, so we are trying to find out this variable var, which is minus buy price plus the profit earned up till that day, right? So when we are running this for loop, we are doing this for loop. So instead of this, right, why are we calculating this value again? Haven't we calculated the answer for this up to this already? So just one new value will suffice. No need to calculate for the entire array again. See, when we are calculating for 10, we already calculated the value for this array. So now when we are calculating for this cell, we have to calculate for this entire array, which is the best possible value, right? So already we have value for this, we'll just check this value instead of checking the entire array. So that is optimization that we can do. So in this code, what we can do is, in this code, instead of this, right, so let me just take this statement and let me just put it here. Okay, and let me comment this out. That's it. So instead of running this for loop, now the time complexity becomes k into n, right? There is no k into n square. All this is not needed. So now in this case, just calculate the last value. So a of j, that's it. And now when we run this code and see, it should work fine. So let me test and see. So it's working fine. Now let's submit and see. It should give time complexity accepted. So it's accepted. That's it. Thank you.